Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. Shown here is the precipitation and lightning for the past 24 hours. We had some isolated thunderstorms across much of the state of Utah with some higher densities over the Arizona Strip and along the Utah-Idaho border. Fire activity remains very light across the basin with just a few new initial attack fires over the past week or so, and a couple of prescribed fires there in Wyoming and northeast Utah. Overall precip trends for the past 7 days are shown here, with some above average precipitation observed over central and southern Utah, especially over the higher elevations there. Idaho has been generally on the drier side for the past 7 days, and Nevada as well. This morning's satellite imagery showing a big trough of low pressure off the Pacific coast here, but the story for the Great Basin remains the high pressure building into the region for warming temperatures area-wide. There is this little low that continues to lift northward out of Idaho that will continue to create some showers and thunderstorms there. And we also have moisture in place still over Utah for afternoon thunderstorms over the next few days. So for this afternoon, here we're seeing drier over Nevada with some moisture in place over Idaho and Utah for those afternoon showers and thunderstorms in those areas. Maximum temperatures for this afternoon are quite high over Nevada with highs in the upper 80s. Highs are closer to 80 degrees in the valleys of Utah and Idaho. Probability of precipitation shown here on the right, with again those showers and thunderstorms expected over Idaho in the higher elevations of Utah and the Utah-Nevada border. On Thursday, the low moves off to the northeast, decreasing the chance for thunderstorms over Idaho, but we still see moisture in place over central and eastern Utah and continuing warming temperatures. On Thursday, our minimum relative humidities remain pretty low over western and southern Nevada, almost down to the single digits. Higher RHs are expected elsewhere across the Great Basin. And again, we're expecting precipitation, some light precipitation amounts with those isolated thunderstorms over mainly the higher elevations of Utah, with some lingering storms in Idaho. More of the same is expected on Friday. Continued warm conditions, continued chance for some isolated thunderstorms over mainly the central and eastern half of the Great Basin. Maximum temperatures on Friday continue to increase and be quite high for the time of year. Temperatures even possibly over 90 degrees over far western Nevada, and up in the upper 80s in western Idaho as well. A little bit cooler on the east side of the Great Basin. Minimum relative humidities remain low over Nevada and higher elsewhere, but beginning to come down a bit as the air mass dries out a bit by Friday. 3-day precipitation totals are shown here, with precip expected over the central Idaho Mountains and Wyoming mainly today into tomorrow, and then some thunderstorms expected over Utah. Again, mainly the higher terrain is where we'll see those afternoon thunderstorms developing. On Saturday, the ridge remains in place for temperatures continuing to stay hot through the weekend, and kind of broke a record with a little bit of moisture underneath that ridge for some daily thunderstorm activity, especially the south and east. On Sunday, we'll see a low begin to move into the Pacific Northwest. That will possibly cause a continued increase in temperatures, especially on the east. We'll see those temperatures getting into the mid-80s, highs in the mid-80s by Sunday, and some lingering moisture underneath that ridge for some continued thunderstorm activity. The low continues to track eastward along the U.S. and Canadian border early next week. Looks like there's a better chance for some moisture to come back up into Utah for maybe more widespread showers and thunderstorms there. And then kind of a continuation of that general pattern on Tuesday. We'll see what this low does early into next week and how that may affect our temperatures and winds. 7-day precip totals do show an increase in precipitation across much of the Great Basin as we see some more moisture moving up into the basin early next week, and that increase in precipitation chances. Extended forecast for May 24th through the 30th. calls for continued above normal temperatures over much of the Great Basin and continued chances for above normal precipitation as well over mainly Utah and Nevada, with some chances over Idaho. So this will help to possibly somewhat delay rapid curing of our fine fuels. And this concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back next Monday for the latest updates.